And now, the general weather around Alaska. Welcome to Alaska Weather. I'm meteorologist Peter Chan, coming to you from the National Weather Service on this Sunday, September 10th, 2023. If you'd like additional weather information on top of what I provide in this YouTube broadcast, you can go to weather.gov. That is the National Weather Service's online presence. It'll bring you a map of the continental U.S. with Hawaii and Alaska to the lower left. Of note, on this Sunday afternoon, we have flood watches in through areas of West Virginia for heavy rainfall that could lead to flash flooding. Further west, severe thunderstorm watch, southeast Colorado, the Oklahoma Panhandle, and southwest Kansas. And then excessive heat warnings continue for the desert areas of Southern California, southwest Arizona. The excessive heat, though, looks like it may finally start to break here and give the folks down there in the southwest a long-deserved break after just a tremendous length of long temperatures above 110 degrees with higher than that feel-like temperatures. Here in Alaska, of note, this Sunday afternoon, flood warnings continue on the upper and middle Kenai River as the result of two different but combining glacier dammed lake outbursts. We have the Snow Glacier in the Kenai Lake region and the Ski Lac Glacier around Ski Lac Lake. And both of those have released water that is causing some flooding. I'll highlight that in a moment. We're going to continue to be in this early fall pattern. Occasionally wet in areas of the state will continue. The only exception has been in the far southwest and southern panhandle. Today they enjoyed sunshine with temperatures above 70 degrees in a number of places like Klawak and Ketchikan. Coming up in the week ahead, astronomically speaking, new moon occurs Wednesday evening on the 14th, and the fall equinox will arrive late Friday evening on September 22nd. Looking at a couple of the FAA webcams this afternoon in the southwest, Mountain Village, low overcast, occasional light rain showers, 45 degrees. That's been the case out there toward Bethel, especially lower Yukon Delta region, just kind of low overcast in areas of patchy light rain or light rain showers. Now, southern panhandle, look at Klawak here as of early afternoon, had temperature of 72 degrees. Some areas have hit the mid 70s for highs on this Sunday. So that's been the warmest weather to report anywhere in the state. And looking at where we have warnings, advisories, watches in effect, the only thing of note are the two flood warnings on the Kenai River as a result of those glacier dam outbursts. Here's an interesting photo. It was provided by a pilot, Kelly Connick, the other day on Saturday, shows the basin, the Snow Glacier dammed lake basin, empty with just this ice now remaining there at the base. This was at one time filled up with water, and it's just been gradually draining into the Kenai Lake. That's why water levels have been high around the Kenai Lake and the upper Kenai River. And then as a result of that water coming down through the system, we saw the Kenai River, the upper Kenai River at Cooper Landing peak earlier at 13.85 feet. It will continue to fall as we go through tonight and during the day tomorrow, and in fact in through midweek. And the flood warning there on the upper Kenai River remains in effect from Cooper Landing to Ski Lac Lake until noon Monday. Downstream, though, Ski Lac Lake, we have the Ski Lac Glacier Dam release also compounded with what's coming down through the system from the Kenai Lake. And as a result, water levels have been gradually rising, and we anticipate the middle Kenai River to crest near moderate flood stage later midweek, probably later Wednesday or early Thursday is the current forecast. Nevertheless, if you're going to be out fishing, especially operating a drift boat or a raft, watch out for wooded debris because there could be logs and even trees flowing on down through the river in those high, swift flows. Also, wear a personal flotation device. Walk-in wade fishing will be very hazardous with those high water levels and swift currents. But again, this flood warning for Ski Lac Lake down through Sterling is in effect until next Sunday because it's going to take several days for all of that water to work its way on down through the middle Kenai River system. Looking at the satellite imagery this Sunday afternoon, we have a few different things to watch. There's a low coming up out of the North Pacific into the lower Gulf. We have lagging trough of low pressure back here across the northern Gulf. More rain working its way back across Prince William Sound toward the Anchorage Bowl and up through the Talkeetna Mountains, Susitna, Matsu valleys. And further west, there's also a couple other weaker areas of low pressure. Nothing especially strong, but as I was saying, there's just this broad region of low pressure in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere. So we have this circulation, and it's bringing more of a southerly flow up here into the south central, southeast mainland. That's why we're seeing the cloud cover in areas of precipitation. Further inland, precipitation tends to be lighter and more scattered, but nevertheless, this pattern is going to hold here as we go through the upcoming week. We are not looking for any warm-ups within the mainland. It's going to stay relatively seasonably cool for this time of year and occasionally wet. So here comes the next area of low pressure. We have kind of a trough and another little weak low here back toward Prince William Sound. Large area of moderate to locally heavier rain in this region will occur this evening, tonight, into Monday. Some of that's going to back up to the northwest, so we'll see more rain working its way into the Anchorage Bowl and then up through the Matsu Valley. A couple other areas of low pressure here, eastern Russia back down toward the Bering, central Bering, and just no real solid high pressure to speak of or widespread clear skies. So later tonight, early on Monday morning, that low will take a little better shape in the southern Gulf. Not an especially strong system. Notice these low pressure systems pressures are above 990 millibars, so these are not strong storms that we can get in the fall. But nevertheless, it keeps the weather unstable. Cloudier skies, a little cooler temperatures. That instability helps generate scattered light showers or areas of rain where there's some better focusing. Lift associated with these systems on Monday. We'll see kind of that low back up here toward the northern Gulf by Monday afternoon and evening. Another low is going to park itself here going from just passing Kuskokwim Bay into Bristol Bay by Tuesday. And so this just keeps the pattern going. Areas of the southwest will generally remain cloudy with areas of light rain, some patchy light fog or showers. Further north, some low cloudiness, a few sprinkles, could even be a little bit of snow mixed in up there in the higher terrain around the Brooks Range. Also, we do expect there to be some snow in the higher elevations, Talkeetna Mountains, St. Wrangell, Elias Mountains, down through the Alaska Range. So pretty typical for the type of pattern that we're in here now that we are approaching mid-September almost. So lows across the Panhandle, upper 40s to lower 50s, generally in the 40s here across South Central. Monday afternoon, fair amount of cloud cover. Temperatures only in the 50s for highs here across South Central. Maybe a few lower 60s, not as warm as what it was here today, especially through the southwest and southern areas of the Panhandle. And Tuesday morning lows generally again in the 40s, but a few spots, if you get any breaks in the clouds, could easily slip into the mid-upper 30s in the normally cold spots. And we are looking for lows upper 40s to generally lower 50s in through the Panhandle. Again, temperatures on Tuesday only in the low mid 50s for highs across all of South Central here and along the western northern Gulf. Maybe back up to 60 over toward, say, Craig and Ketchikan and Metlakatla. But further north, temperatures should generally stay above freezing, though again, if you get any breaks in the cloud cover, there could be some areas locally down near freezing. But most lows upper 30s to lower 40s. And then temperatures, warmest, I could see a 64-degree reading over at Eagle along the Elkan border Monday afternoon. Otherwise, 40s along the Arctic coast as well as along the coastline of the Seward Peninsula, extending back out towards Savunga and Gamble. And for Tuesday morning, lows generally mid-30s to lower 40s across the region. A little warmer, Yukon Flats and Fairbanks, maybe more like 43 there. And temperatures through the Yukon Valley, north of the Alaska Range, generally in the low mid-50s for highs. But again, 40s common along the North Slope, Arctic coast, back down along the Seward Peninsula, and down toward Imanak there at the areas of the lower Yukon Delta. And looking at the southwest interior, temperatures on Monday morning are going to be near or just above 40 degrees, 40s along the Aleutians and into the Alaska Peninsula. Don't look for temperatures to budge a whole lot, anywhere from upper 40s to mid 50s at best, maybe 56 or so at King Salmon. And as we go down the length of the Alaska Peninsula, generally highs in the low mid 50s, and more of the same on Tuesday. Lows, a few upper 30s possible. Again, if there's any break in the cloud cover west of the Alaska Range, you could see some locally colder temperatures, but otherwise near or just above 40. Lower mid 40s throughout the Aleutians and Alaska Peninsula. And Tuesday afternoon highs, more of the same. Highs generally upper 40s to maybe middle 50s at best. Again, 55, 56 toward Kodiak and and king salmon, otherwise lower mid-50s, extending down the length of the Alaska Peninsula to Dutch Harbor. So the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook provided by the National Weather Service's Climate Prediction Center indicates near normal temperatures across southeast panhandle, south central areas, along the west, even toward the northwest coast and along the Alaska Peninsula and Aleutians. The only probability of above normal temperatures here, eastern Brooks Range, eastern North Slope, especially from around Arctic Village to Kaktovik, and up there to around New Exit. And for precipitation outlook, September 16th through the 20th, once we get past mid-month, the best chance of above normal precipitation will be south central, southeast interior, including the Panhandle. And we're just going to see a continuation of this early fall pattern where generally more of a southerly flow coming in off the Gulf will enhance the likelihood of precipitation, especially across south central and southeast portions of the state.